Hi, this is Lady Lex UK and this is a Dreams tutorial. If I'm sounding a little bit different today, it's because I'm using the headset microphone because I need it to show you this that I've made. I've created a sound activated switch. So I need the headphones because we're going to be using those to make sounds into our microphone to activate various things in our level. So here's my player. If I walk over here, it says, this is a voice activated switch. Make a constant sound with your microphone to make the door open. And you can see there's a little symbol of a microphone on the switch. I walk away. There we go. So if I make a noise into my microphone, you can just see it. Woo! There we go. It rises up. Woo! So the idea is to make a constant sound. Woo! You get contact and it opens the door. So there's our switch. Let's have a look. See how that's made. Right, so I've got the sliding door from the Dreamyverse. You can make your own. It doesn't have to be a door. This is just a switch and it will activate whatever you want to activate. And this method can be used to raise platforms and all sorts of things. So it doesn't have to be a door. It is a switch. Right, so let's have a look at the gadget. Now here is the gadget I've made. It comes in 4 bits. So we have a box. We have a black cube at the top and a red cube at the bottom. These are all separate sculpts. I've grouped them together so they can move them around my level. But they have to be separate for this to work. Also, there is an invisible part to this. Like that. That's made invisible. That's just to stop the box from falling out. It's a shield to stop that. So it's just attached over the front. Okay, so at the, let's just get rid of that. Right, at the top here, we have got an impact sensor. This is a surface snap to that black box. And if we open that up, you can see it's looking for touching. And I've chosen just machine. I've selected machine here. And selected everything else. So it's looking for a machine to touch it. And this box down here, I've labelled that as a machine. So it's looking for that box to touch it, and that will activate this impact sensor. At the bottom here we have our box, and this is going to be raised up. I've stuck a gyroscope on it just to make sure it's upright. And I've stuck an advanced mover on it. Now we're only interested in the y-axis, that's at the up and down, and I've changed that to 0.3 meters a second. So you can change this to make it harder or more or easier for the player to raise the cube. Obviously, the faster it moves, the easier it will be for the player to move this up to the top. So you might want them straining, or you might just want them to go woo, and it immediately the switch is activated. So it's up to you. This is to do here. This is the speed. Everything else is set to 0. Okay, so that's your cube. Now let's have a look at our microchip. I'm always doing that, opening it the wrong way. Right, there we go. Here's our microchip. Right then, so we've got a detect zone, of course we do. Trigger zone in place in front of the door. So you'll only be able to activate this switch if you're standing in this particular place. So we've got 2 AND gates. One controls the text displays and one controls the switch. So we've got a trigger zone going into this AND gate. So is he standing in the trigger zone? And then we'll detect to see if this counter has been active, which says we've been turned on the gate, or the door has been opened. It checks to see if it's not that. So that's the not gate attached to yes, we've opened the door. If we've not opened the door, then we're going to see this text display and this text display. I recommend maybe just the symbol after you've shown it the first time. So full text the first time, and then after that, just the symbol. Right, so we have a remote controller sensor in here, and this, instead of a button press, we're looking at the last page, and the third one down is microphone. This is detecting whether or not you can hear anything in the microphone. It's the volume. So as you can see, as I speak, there we go. You can see the microphone is flashing white to indicate that it's detecting a sound. So there we go. We have connected that into this AND gate. So we're saying, can we see the player? Can we hear a noise? Looking at this NOT gate here, connected to this counter, is the door still open? Is this door closed or open? If it's closed, then we're passing this information into our cube. So that wire is going into our cube. Hang on, that's a group. Let's ungroup. Oops, I don't want to do that. Ungroup. Oh, hang on. Right, we'll have to come out of this. Right, so our wire, which says we've got a result, is going into our cube. Finally, I've got it. Right, we're going to physical properties, and we've wired it into ignore gravity. So normally gravity is on, but when you detect a sound, it's going to ignore gravity, and because we've set it to move in the y-axis, it's going to start to rise. When it doesn't hear a sound, it will fall because the gravity will be restored. So it will go up and down depending on whether the sound is being detected. And that's that. Make a sound for long enough and the block will rise high enough to hit that impact sensor. Right, if it hits the impact sensor, there's a wire here. You can see that it's going into our microchip. Let's just close these off. Well, hey, right. Close that. Right, so we've got that wire. Here is a node that I popped in for that wire. So I've got it. I'll get it on here. So when we've detected the impact, I've set a counter to be full. And I've got a keyframe. And that is changing the colour of my brick at the bottom. The indicator is making it black. So this is what happens once you've activated the switch. So that will go black and the door will open. So that's two different keyframes. You could put that in one keyframe, but I like to keep these things separate just in case I wanted to do something. Whoops. Just in case I wanted to do something different. I want the option to have the door on one and the colour change on another. It makes sense to me to keep them separate. There's our NOT gate that we needed to make sure the door was still shut before we did anything. So now we've got our counter. This is a node that gives us a output socket on our microchip to say this is active, and then we can wire that up to whatever we like. At the moment it's activating this door, but you can activate other things as well from the switch independently. You don't have to have the activity actually inside this microchip because we've added this node that tells us that this switch is active. So there we go. And there's our microchip, and there at the bottom there is switch is active, and I can then wire that into anything I like. So I can activate a light or anything you like really. A scene. You could activate a doorway, a checkpoint, all sorts of things that you can do. So there you go. There is my sound activated demo. I'm sure you can think of a lot of uses for that. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in your dreams.